Hi and welcome back to So You Want to Learn the Violin, episode 3. In today's lesson, we are going to learn how to play a new song, Go Tell Aunt Rhody. We're going to learn how to use our fourth finger when we make music, and also low twos versus high twos, which really gets us into different finger patterns on our left hand of playing the violin. So come along and learn with me. So the first thing we are going to work on today is our left hand setup. For more details on how to hold the violin and how to hold the bow, see episodes 1 and 2 for a more detailed breakdown. With our left hand, the first thing that we want to think about is that our thumb is pointing towards the sky. I never want my thumb to be like having a lot poking over the side. Ideally, I only want probably about a half an inch of my thumb poking over the side of my violin towards the ceiling. My first finger is resting right on this knuckle on the side of my instrument so that my fingers can be curved and landing on their fingertips when I play. I never want fingers to look like this, flat, and my thumb points back usually when that happens. As soon as my thumb points up, my wrist straightens out and my fingers go on their fingertips. So we don't want this. If your fingers look like this, all you have to do is try to straighten out your wrist by thinking of pointing your thumb towards the ceiling, and then there you go. If you feel like your wrist is kind of tilting inward, that might be a sign that your thumb is too high up. If you bring your thumb down, it also should naturally straighten out your wrist. Try a few of those adjustments and see if it helps you be able to play your violin on your fingertips. In addition, when I'm playing and I have good left hand posture, I should have lots of space in my left hand and even a little hole right here. If that hole in the palm of my hand disappears, I know something needs to change. I'm going to do a playthrough of Go Tell Aunt Rhody for you today so you know what the song sounds like and it can be in your ear. Hopefully something that you heard while I was playing was that a lot of the notes are moving like a scale. What a scale means is that notes are moving up or down sequentially with few skips or jumps in the notes. This piece starts on our C sharp, which is our second finger on our A string. So for this first time through, what I'd actually like us to do is try pizzicatoing or plucking the song through to learn the notes, and then we'll add our bow to make the music. So here I am with my thumb pointing towards the sky, my wrist nice and straight on the fingertip of my second finger, okay? As a reminder, when we pizzicato, we make an L with our right hand, put our thumb on the side of the fingerboard, and pluck with our pointer finger. So I will be plucking on the A string. Again, if you need a reminder of any of these basics, please feel free to see episode 1. So here we go. I'm starting on my C sharp. There are 2 C sharps in a row, and then I go down the scale. Listen and then repeat after me. Join me, ready, go. The next measure starts on my B, or my first finger on the A string. Listen. Try and play with me. The next part starts on my E string. Again, 2 of those will go in a row, and I'm working my way down the scale. Listen. Play with me starting on E. Ready, go. And this last bit starts on my B, my 1 on my A string. Goes down the scale and back up with a final skip to my open A. Listen. Play with me. Okay, let's try 2 measures at a time. Listen, I'll play first. Starting on my C sharp. Play along, starting on C sharp, fingertips, thumb up, ready, go. Now listen to the next 2 measures. It starts on open E. Play with me, starting on open E. Ready, go. Right there when we go from our open E to our D, what I think about is dropping all 3 fingers together. I don't want to just try to place 1 finger at a time because I need all the other ones the rest of the time anyway. And this guarantees my fingertips will be down for all the rest of my notes. So think about dropping all 3 fingers together the next time you try this through. So that was the first line of Go Tell Aunt Rhody. We're going to try it all the way through now with our bow. Again, for a review on your bow hold, see episode 2. So here we go with our bows. We're starting on our note C sharp on our E string. Ready, go. Feel free to pause the video here if you need to listen to the first line again, or if you want to go through it in smaller chunks. We are now going to start line 2 of Go Tell Aunt Rhody. This also starts on C sharp. I'm going to go back to plucking just to break this down again and give you a chance to focus on your left hand posture before also worrying about the bow. So this second line starts on our C sharp, 2 C sharps in a row, just like the first line. L. Fingertips, just a bit of my thumb pointing up. Listen, and then you can play. Play along with me. Ready? C sharp, go. The second measure starts on our F sharp, which is our 1 on the E string. Listen. Another great time to practice dropping all 3 fingers together. Join me starting on our F sharp on our E string. Ready, go. The next measure is the same as the first one in this line. Listen. Join me starting on C sharp. Ready, go. Now our first finger, F sharp, listen, join me. Here's 2 measures at a time for the second line of Go Tell Aunt Rhody. My turn and then your turn. Here I drop, join me, ready, C sharp, go. Next two measures, listen, starts on C sharp. Join me on those two measures. Here we go. So now I'm going to grab my bow and we're going to do the entire second line of Go Tell Aunt Rhody all the way through together. It starts on C sharp. Here's the second line. C sharp, do a little posture check. Make sure your wrist is nice and straight. None of this. None of this. C sharp, ready, go. So maybe you noticed in the first playthrough of this that the first line is repeated as the last line. So technically, you know the whole song. If you want to review the first line at all, go ahead back and review the notes. We're going to play line 1, then line 2, and then line 3, back to back. Try and think about dropping your 3 fingers all together. Here we go, a full run through of Go Tell Aunt Rhody. Line 1, starting on our C sharp. Ready, go. Line 2, here we go. I hope that went well for you. If you heard when you played a lot of this, or it may be something to do with your bow and not your fingers. On our longer notes, we can use more bow, and on our shorter notes, we can use smaller bow. Might sound pretty obvious, but sometimes it's not obvious when we're doing all these other things on our instrument. So if I just walk you through the first couple of measures, this is what I'm thinking of when I play. Long, little, long, 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 little, long. I would try to go back and redo all of Go Tell Aunt Rhody, thinking in terms of that and seeing if that helps your sound. We're going to keep using Go Tell Aunt Rhody to use our 4th finger. At this point, we've used our 1st, 2nd, and 3rd fingers. For example, on the A string, we played B, C sharp, and D. The next note would be E, which is actually the same note as your open E string. Your 4th finger should be a full space away from your 3rd finger in order for it to be in tune. The reason that we use our 4th finger is a couple of reasons. Part of it is tone quality. It's nicer to hear a stopped string rather than an open string sometimes, especially when it comes to our E. Our E can have a really brassy tone, and by using a 4th finger, we really warm it up. Another reason that we choose to use our 4th finger rather than an open E, or open string in general, is to stay on one string for a longer period of time. So what I'd like us to try to do before we add this into our piece is just see if our 4th finger's in tune. So we're going to play each note on our A string 2 times and see if our fingers match with one another. So I'm going to start on my B, play it twice, C sharp twice, D twice, E twice, and then work my way back down. I'd like you to do that along with me and use your ears to see if your notes match mine. fingers matched. If they didn't, if it sounded more like this, that's a sign that your 4 just didn't reach far enough. If it feels pretty difficult to get your 4 reaching far enough, you may need to adjust your thumb closer to your second finger to make it easier to reach. If your thumb is really pointing back, then it is really hard to get our 4 in tune. If our thumb's pointing up, it's actually easier to get that reach, believe it or not. Let's do that exercise one more time and see if we can get it. So the spot that we're going to use our 4th finger is in the 1st and 3rd lines, right here, as you see below. Instead of using our open E in the 1st and 3rd lines, we're going to use our 4 on A. So let's go ahead and try that together. You know what Go Tell Aunt Rhody sounds like, so you should know if your 4th finger is in tune or not. I'm gonna dive right in and use my bow. Feel free to try this 2 times, once with just pizzicato and then once with bow. Ready? Go. You may have noticed that I didn't use my 4th finger at all in the 2nd line. The reason is that whenever we use our E on the 2nd line, we're headed up to more notes on the E string, so we have to make that string crossing anyway. With the 1st and the 3rd lines, we only go to the E string for the note E and then we come right back to the A. So I would prefer to use my 4th finger for that E and then stay on that one string the entire line. Finally, I'm going to teach you the difference between our finger patterns. So up until this point, our 3 and our 2 have been close together, which we often call the 2-3 finger pattern because our 2 and our 3 are close together. So your fingers have looked like this. There's also other diagrams, which I will attach to this video. So your fingers have pretty much looked like this. There are other options like the 1 and 2 finger pattern, where your 1 and 2 are close. The 3 and the 4 finger pattern, where your 3 and your 4 are close, and then all of your fingers spread out. So we're going to learn one new finger pattern today, and that is the 1-2 finger pattern. So your second finger on the violin actually plays 2 different notes. We'll use the A string as our example string for right now, but you can apply this concept to the other strings on your violin. So far in our 2-3 finger pattern, our C has been playing the note C sharp. Sharp is an accidental that raises the pitch. So you've been playing C sharp this whole time. There is another note when we lower that finger to be close to our 1 that is called C natural. C natural can also just be called C. C sharp is the raised version of that C, and C flat would be the lowered version of that C. When we are playing our 2 close to the 1, that is our C natural on the A string. When we are playing our 2 close to our 3, that is C sharp on the A string. You may be wondering what the difference is between the 2. So if I start on my B, and I play my C natural, those notes are only a half step apart. They're pretty close. If I go from my B to my C sharp, those 2 notes are a whole step apart. They sound further from each other. Interchanging these notes in a piece can change the modality of the piece. And modality just means whether it's major or minor mode. Go Tell Aunt Rhody is in the major mode. It sounds happy and upbeat and light. If I were to change those C sharps to C naturals, then we might get a different mood. It would feel minor, which might feel melancholy or spooky, or something along those lines, like this. So what we're going to learn right now is the sad version, or the minor version, of Go Tell Aunt Rhody. My teachers called this Rhody Went to Cairo. So we are going to change out all of our C sharps for C naturals. So now our 2 is going to be touching our first finger. It is important that our fingers stay on their fingertips so that our 1 and our 2 can really be close together. I'm going to play this all the way through for you, and then you can feel free to repeat it and play along with me. As you can see in the sheet music that was playing below, the C's all had a natural symbol next to them to show you that your 2's needed to be close to your 1's. That natural symbol will sometimes be right next to the note and sometimes be in the key signature, which we'll talk about in future videos. But just so you know, when you see that natural symbol next to a C, it means that your 2 needs to be close to your 1, whereas the sharp symbol next to that C means your 2 is close to your 3. So now you learned 3 different versions of Go Tell Aunt Rhody. Regular Go Tell Aunt Rhody, Go Tell Aunt Rhody with 4th fingers, and Go Tell Aunt Rhody with natural, low 2's. These are things that will take you super far and into many different aspects of your violin playing. So I hope you find it really useful and applicable to future songs. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video useful, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of our new violin instruction videos. Have a good day!